Welcome back. We have been working on problem 1-3A, Sherry's Shuttles, and we've just prepared our first financial statement of the whole course. We've prepared an income statement for Sherry's Shuttles, summarizing the revenues and expenses, and we learned that Sherry's Shuttles had a profit of $35,000 for the year. In this video, we're going to learn to prepare a statement of retained earnings. That's our second financial statement. And it starts just like the income statement with a 3-line title. You're going to get used to these 3-line titles. So let's do it. Name of the company: Sherry's Shuttles. Name of the statement. This is a statement of retained earnings, and it gets dated the same way for a time period. So this is for the year ended December 31st, 2029. Now, a lot of companies have fiscal years that don't end on December 31st. Very normal to have a year ended, May 31st or something like this. So don't think that every company has to be December 31st, and you'll see that in future questions. Okay, so what is the statement of retained earnings? Well, we said we're going to do 3 financial statements here. We're not doing the statement of cash flows. Income statement summarizes revenues minus expenses equals net income equals the profit. Statement of retained earnings just says, how did retained earnings change? So we start with our beginning retained earnings. We're going to add net income, deduct dividends, and we'll get our ending retained earnings. So this is short and sweet as far as the statements go. We want to give our beginning retained earnings. So you write retained earnings, no special heading here, retained earnings, and then you give a date, and you give the date at the start of the year. So if the year ends on December 31st, what day did the year start on? January 1st was the start of this year. It gets trickier when it's like May 31st is our year end. What was the first day of that year? Well, it was actually June 1st. The year before was the first day of the year ended May 31st. Anyway, December 31st, the trick is you add a day and then you take off a year. So December 31st plus a day is January 1st, 2030. Take off a year, January 1st, 2029. So our retained earnings on January 1st, 2029 was... And what is my retained earnings on January 1st, 2029? Well, let's erase this stuff that I've highlighted and look at this right here, retained earnings. And look at that, January 1st, 2029. I wrote the question. I knew we were going to need the January 1st, 2029 retained earnings. You'll notice all the other numbers don't say that, right? Just this one is sort of a special one, and it's $80,000. Okay, so my retained earnings January 1st, 2029 was $80,000. We're going to add, and I do write the word add, net income. If this was a net loss, in other words, if we lost money, net income was a negative number, right? Revenues minus expenses was negative, we would deduct the net loss. But here we're going to add the net income, and I can see it from the income statement. This $35,000, it doesn't come from the question, right? There's no $35,000. Well, there's wages expenses $35,000, but there's no net income $35,000 in the question. So it comes from our statement, our income statement. So retained earnings 80 plus net income 35 gives us a subtotal. And I do label this as subtotal. I've seen some textbooks label it subtotal. Some textbooks don't label it at all. They just leave it blank here. But 80 plus 35 is $115,000. So if the company didn't pay any dividends, right, they would go, well, we made $80,000. We had $80,000 in retained earnings before. We made $35,000 in profit this year. So if I don't pay any dividends, I'm going to have $115,000 in retained earnings. But I did pay dividends. How big were my dividends? Well, right there, $5,000 under dividends. So I take away the dividends. That's the shareholders taking money out of the company. So I deduct dividends. And my dividends were $5,000. Now this one goes in brackets. We deduct dividends minus $5,000 and we get our ending retained earnings. Here we write retained earnings and a date. Now what is the end of year date? Well, it's the date of the statement for the year ended. So the end of the year is December 31st, 2029. 115 minus 5 is $110,000. Now, like we did with the income statement, we put dollar signs. We put dollar signs at the top of each column. In this case, there's only one column, so the top of the column, and a dollar sign beside anything double underlined. So our statement of retained earnings gets two dollar signs, one at the top, one at the bottom. And there we have it, a beautiful statement of retained earnings. What does the statement of retained earnings tell us? It tells us how did retained earnings change? And if I was a shareholder, I'd be particularly interested in the dividends. It's the only place where you see dividends, right? There's no dividends on the income statement. There's no dividends presented on the balance sheet, at least the way I present it. So this is the place you would find the dividend. And if you're a shareholder, you want to know if you're getting dividends. That's you getting paid. So you'd be very curious about that. Okay, we've made it to the end of our statement of retained earnings. One more statement left to do, but it's a big one. The balance sheet will be in our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the final part, the balance sheet. Bye-bye. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.